No? Okay. Savita from Galway, Ireland, died of sepsis after miscarrying at 17 weeks. She repeatedly asked for her pregnancy to be ended once doctors confirmed the baby could not survive, but was told it was not legally possible while there was still a fatal heartbeat. By the time the fetus died, her infection had advanced, and she died 4 days later. Her death sparked nationwide outrage and became the catalyst for Ireland's abortion rights campaign, leading to the repeal of the Eighth Amendment in 2018.
Marianne, a Canadian on holiday in Malta in 2014, miscarried at 17 weeks when her water broke. Despite rising fever and repeated pleas, doctors twice refused to end her pregnancy. She was only saved after her Canadian insurance covered an emergency airlift to France for the procedure.
Mirela from Zagreb, Croatia, was 24 weeks pregnant when she was told her baby had a malignant tumor and would not survive. She requested a termination in For Zagreb Hospital, but got no health care, only obstetric violence, gaslighting, and stigmatization. As the tumor grew quickly and she received no adequate health care, she had to travel to Slovenia, and her expenses were covered through fundraising.
Hello to all of you. We are here today because today we are making history. Today, it is official that we submitted and that European Commission accepted 1 million signatures for safe and accessible abortion in Europe. And this is history because this is the first time that European Commission will need to put on their agenda abortion rights based on citizens' will. My name is Nika Kovac, and I'm coordinator of this campaign. And we decided to start with this campaign because we know that limited access to abortion is not just physically dangerous, it is also mentally and economically dangerous for the women who cannot afford or who cannot get abortion. We are doing this campaign because we believe that no one should tell us what we should do with our life and what we shouldn't. We are doing this campaign because we know that 20 million of women in Europe do not have access to safe and accessible abortion. We are doing this because women are still killed in Polish hospitals because of restrictive abortion laws. We are doing this because women in Malta still can go to prison if they have an abortion. We are doing this because women in Italy and Croatia cannot access abortion. And we are doing this because we believe that fighting for abortion is not just fight for reproductive rights, but it is also fight for more equal and more social Europe. This campaign started more than 2 years ago. And it started because of a very simple wish. We noticed that there is a lot of darkness around us. We noticed that authoritarian forces are getting stronger and stronger. We noticed that there is much more people who want to control us and push us back to the kitchen. We noticed that the inequalities between poor and rich are becoming bigger. And we know that you can respond to darkness only with light. And we decided that the light is in the community. And this is why we created My Voice, My Choice movement. We didn't just collect more than 1 million signatures for safe and accessible abortion, but we created the strongest, kindest, and one of the most beautiful feminist movements in Europe. And today is my great honor that I can share some of the light with you. Today, I will present you some of the most extraordinary women that I know who will be speaking about the work they did in their own country. And I will start with Sabrina. And here is a little story about Sabrina. So often, we were writing at the beginning of our campaign to many different famous people. We were asking them if they can carry the message about safe and accessible abortion. And so often, we got answers like, we need to watch on our career. We shouldn't speak up because we will get in trouble. And then we somehow came to Sabrina, and she said, I will do it. And she didn't just do it, she became one of the crucial members of our movement. And I am so happy and so proud that she will be the first speaker on today's press conference.
Evo, stvarno ne znam šta bi rekla nakon Nikine najave. Sorry, I speak Russian. My memory is bad, lot of papers here. Bila mi je zaista čast i sreća što sam pozvana od Nike da mogu sudjelovati u ovoj kampanji. Nešto sam napisala jer sam doživjela ovo kao svoju dužnost i ono što je Nika rekla da možda niko nije htio. Eto, ja baš se u sve miješam. Uglavnom, biti dio kampanje My Voice, My Choice i stati iza očite vječne borbe, ne za zaštitu stečenih prava, nego za primjenu zajamčenih ženskih prava, sa kako mi kažemo mrtvog slova na papiru u stvarni život. I have translate on English in paper too for you. Kad kažem dužnost, mislim prije svega na pojavnost koju mi donosi moje zanimanje. Uvijek sam imala potrebu pjevati kad pjevam, pa jedna pjesma koju sam napisala se zove Ja samo pjevam. Međutim, uvijek sam i govorila, nerijetko dok su drugi šutjeli, kada su prava i pravda u pitanju, a trebalo je govoriti. Premda su mi mnogi dobronamjerni ljudi, posebno na ovu temu dostupnog i besplatnog prekida trudnoće, govorili što se miješaš, nije ti to dobro za karijeru. Ja sam baš bila ponosna što su me djevojke iz Slovenskog instituta 8. mart prepoznale i pozvale da budem dio njihovog tima. Nisam uopće dvojila, znajući da me čekaju i vrijeđanja i prijetnje u javnom prostoru, na društvenim mrežama, da će svako ko misli da je veći vjernik od mene ili veći Hrvat od mene se naći pozvanim i prijetiti mi porukama preko mreža. Vrijeđali su i prijetili kao što sam očekivala, ali ta mržnja i ta potreba da ograničavaš slobode drugih i drugačijih zbog svoje ideologije, mislila sam da smo davno napustili. Međutim, čini se da nije tako. Kao i uvijek, žene su prve na udaru. Dobro, i LGBT population. Pojedini mediji su me ignorirali, kao i cijelu kampanju, i to ženski mediji. Vjerojatno su muke žena iz Slavonije ili djevojaka iz Zagreba koje ne mogu ostvariti pravo na prekid trudnoće, preteške teme za magazine sa sjajnim papirom u kojima smo sve prije svega lijepe i nemamo nikakvih briga. Naše mame i bake su se izborile, onda su nam u slobodnoj Hrvatskoj podmuklo ostavili pravo na prekid trudnoće, ali ga u mnogim bolnicama žene ne mogu ostvariti. Ne želimo da generacije koje dolaze imaju manja prava od nas. Situacija je slična u još nekim zemljama u Europskoj uniji u 21. stoljeću. Evo, na primjer, hrvatski premijer se ovdje u Briselu predstavlja velikim europejcem i liberalnom strujom Europske pučke stranke, a takav je ovdje i život vodio. Znate ga vi, mislim, dobro iz briselskih krugova. Međutim, doma u Hrvatskoj premijer se dodvorava desnici samo zbog glasova, ne razmišljajući da je pustio duha iz boce, pa je tako neki dan mom prijatelju, velikom piscu Miljenku Jergoviću, grafitom na zgradi ispisana prijetnja. Hapse se, ne znam ni ja zašto, prosvjednici koji traže prekid genocida u Gazi i mi danas ovdje usput dižemo i glas, mislim ne usput nego zapravo i isto kao i za prekid na pravo trudnoće i glas za slobodnu Palestinu, ali mislim da ovdje trebamo dignuti glas za još jednu zemlju koja bi htjela biti u Europskoj uniji, a to je Srbija. dižemo glas za sve studente, profesore i učenike koji dalje progone i hapse po Srbiji. Brisel to mora čuti i vidjeti. I upravo zbog Palestine, Ukrajine, zbivanja u Sjedinjenim državama s ukidanjem dosegnutih prava moramo sačuvati europski prostor kao prostor slobode za sve i život u kojem su građanska prava svim građankama i građanima neupitna i biti otvoreni za sve koji prihvaćaju otvorena društva. Zato danas ponosno stojim ovdje s vama djevojkama iz My Voice My Choice-a i nestrpljive smo predati potpise, već smo ih predali, koji su prikupljeni vjerujući da će nas tijela Europske unije podržati i da će svaka, ali baš svaka žena u Europskoj uniji koja se nađe u potrebi imati pravo na diskretan, besplatan i dostupan prekid trudnoće. Ako ne u svojoj, onda u susjednoj zemlji članici. Europska se unija ne temelji samo na slobodnom tržištu i slobodnom kretanju ljudi, već i na ljudskoj solidarnosti, a mislim da su je žene, potpisujući ovu građansku inicijativu u zemljama Europske unije koje imaju besplatan i lako dostupan pobačaj, posebno pokazale. I još nešto što je jako važno. Možda se može činiti da smo mi ovdje došli nešto moliti, ali to nije točno i željela bih pojasniti da smo mi ovdje javno i jasno došli dati tri informacije i jedan zahtjev. Prva informacija je da većina ljudi u ovoj uniji vjeruje u ravnopravnost, u slobodu i u prava žena. Da većina ljudi zna da je ograničavanje prava žene na vlastito tijelo i osobni izbor institucionalizirano nasilje kojem u uniji temeljnoj na slobodi nema mjesta. Druga informacija je da smo izgradili najveći europski pokret, jedan pljesak za Niku, za prava žena i da smo nezaustavljive. Ovo je masovan pokret u ime 100 milijuna žena. Ovo je pokret građana borbama naših baka i naših majki. Ovo je pokret kojim ćemo onemogućiti da mlade Evropljanke odrastaju kao građanke drugog reda. A treća informacija je činjenica da smo sve mi, uključujući i predsjednicu Europske komisije i predsjednicu Europskog parlamenta, danas građanke drugog reda. Zato što smo svi u Europskoj uniji. Građanke kojima mnoge države Unije ne priznaju pravo na same sebe, na svoju odliku, na svoje tijelo i na svoj život. Umjesto da gradimo društvo u kojem žene žive kako žele, mi gradimo društvo u kojima ženska tijela i živote stavljamo pod kontrolu državne sile u ime tradicije. Ali to nije tradicija naša, to nije tradicija Unije, niti tradicija Evropljanki. Naša tradicija je sloboda i odlučne smo ju nastaviti. Stoga, dajemo zahtjev da se žene napokon u ovom 21. stoljeću u najbogatijem dijelu svijeta prihvati kao ravnopravne i nemojmo ovo zamijeniti da je ovo neka molba, ovo je nešto u čemu ćemo uspjeti, ovo je nešto što ćemo ostvariti, a vaš je izbor, ovim gospodi iz Europskog parlamenta, njihov je izbor da li žele biti na pravoj ili na krivoj strani povijesti, da li želite moći pogledati žene u oči i sebe u ogledalo ili ćete ostati upisani u povijest Unije kao oholi nasilnici koji su pritom i neuspješni gubitnici, jer mi ćemo ovo dobiti. Bravo! Da. Hvala.
So I will just make a short summarize of what Sabrina said, and you will later get a full statement printed. Okay. So Sabrina stated that it was her honor and duty to stand with the My Voice, My Choice campaign, and that women's rights must move from dead letters on the paper into real life. She also mentioned that despite threats, insults, and media attacks she is going through, she is proud to speak out because silence is not an option when rights and justice are at stake. She noted that our mothers fought for abortion rights and that we must refuse to let future generations have fewer rights than us, but exactly the opposite. She then continued saying that across Europe, women are still treated as second-class citizens, that our bodies are being placed under state control in the name of tradition, but our tradition is freedom and we are determined to continue it. She also mentioned 3 clear messages that we bring. First one, most Europeans believe in freedom, equality and women's rights, and that restricting them is institutionalized violence. Second, that we have built the largest feminist movement in Europe and that we are unstoppable.
And the third one, that until abortion is accessible to every woman, including EU leaders, we remain second-class citizens. She later added the demand that women in the 21st century, in the richest part of the world, is not seen as equal, but we will achieve this, we will fight. The only question is whether the EU leaders will stand on the right side of history or be remembered as those who failed on women and freedom. Thank you.
Okay, this was Nina from the My Voice, My Choice team. And also she will give you the printed statement in English if you will want. And then now I'm jumping to the second speaker of today's. With Sabrina, there was another person who decided to basically step up in front and use her voice, her influence, and her visibility for us. She didn't just do videos for us. She basically made it possible that Greece became one of the strongest countries in My Voice, My Choice. Natasha is one of the... Natasha is one of the most famous journalists there, and she proudly wore our T-shirt, replayed to different attacks that she was getting because of us, and she's proudly standing with us. With her, we are sure that we will make this thing a reality. Natasha, I'm giving the stage to you.
Hello, everyone. Hello. We never get it. Well, it's a great honor for me to be here among activists and people who care from all around Europe. My name is Natasha Anastasia Giamali, and I am a journalist from Greece. Realizing that having access to a free and safe abortion is not easy nor granted on a remote village in Greece or in a secluded island where there might still be stigma, but afterwards realizing that it's not very easy to get a free abortion in a big public hospital in Athens because, for example, the doctor has the right to refuse to perform this medical procedure when it's conflicting their religious beliefs, for example, was even more shocking for me. Especially after taking into consideration that in Greece, the right to terminate a pregnancy was passed in 1986, almost 40 years ago. Then it came as a shock to realize that next to Greece, there is Malta, for example, and after Malta, there is Poland and so many other countries where women, European women, women belonging to what we see as Western civilization, are putting themselves in danger for what is a basic human right. That's why when Nika, the visionary behind all this, thank you so much, approached me through a dear friend and colleague, Theopis Karlatos, I immediately said yes. Many strong and independent women, not only women, of course, from Greek politics and arts joined in the struggle, and some organizations, not as many as I expected, jumped in. That's why Greece was among the first countries who exceeded their signatures goal. We started with short videos explaining why it is important to sign, and at first people were very skeptical because they didn't want to share all their data with the EU. Then they came to realize that this is the only way to do it, and they realized the importance of doing it. And the reality of it is that in Greece, the reactionary alt-right politicians really did us a favor because they helped us raise awareness, because they decided to question our right. It was here in Brussels when a Greek member of the European Parliament, coming from an ultra-conservative, super-orthodox party, defended the so-called right of the unborn child and he linked it with the future of our race. Lovely racism meeting sexism, it was perfect. And then there were the ministers, some ministers, not all, of the center-right government, who every now and then, especially after Trump's victory, are supporting or sharing or reposting some sort of conservative article that comes under the pretext of population decline and the very need to protect our race. Basic human rights, don't think that this is not happening, are under attack everywhere. Women rights, LGBTQI rights, especially trans rights, refugee rights, and even the right to exist if we take into account what's happening in Gaza with the genocide. So alt-right forces are not going to stop until they win. Not having to care, not having to fight is a privilege. Not stepping down from this fight is our obligation, not only for those that now don't have the privilege, but at the end of the line for all of us. Thank you.
The best Christmas present that I got this year was from Luisa. Luisa is one of my closest friends, and she is an environmental activist in Germany and all around Europe. And she joined the campaign right at the beginning. But just before December, she texted me and she said, I see you girls that you are very tired. I will give you a very special gift. I will come to 1 million signatures. And this girl, 1 week before Christmas, decided to organize the whole Germany. She called her friends, actresses, she called different influencers, and she said, I will get you the last 30,000 signatures. And she did it. Because of Luisa, we had, peaceful holidays, because we knew that we reached 1 million signatures. And basically this story for me is a proof that the base of this campaign is friendship and solidarity. Luisa, come.
It is such an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for my voice, my choice, for organizing this incredible moment, for making this happen. My name is Luisa Neubauer. I am a climate justice activist and writer from Germany. So, as some might think now, what has a climate to do with reproductive rights? I will talk about why I, as a climate activist and obviously as a friend, joined the campaign. But there's so much more to say about the disastrous situation of women's rights and reproductive rights in Germany, where abortions are still illegal, in a country that considers itself to be quite liberal. And there's my colleague and dear friend, Christina Lunzi, in the audience, and I would very much encourage you to talk to her and discuss the situation in Germany. She's an expert on it and has educated me on all these things and much more people in Germany, luckily enough, so we can work as a team here. I became a climate activist 7 years ago in the public in Germany, and the very first time that I entered any public stage, I realized that when I go on any stage to speak as a climate activist, I am never just a climate activist. First and foremost, I'm a woman. I'm my body before I'm my work. I am my gender before I am my ideas. I am what others consider me to be before everything else. And so from day one on, I experienced what probably every other woman out there experiences, which is violence and hostility for our bodies before anything else. And again, where people stand up for justice, for peace, or for climate and the environment, we experience that we are never just attacked for what we stand for, but we are attacked for who we are and for our bodies. And in this climate, in this hostility, in this increased rise of hatred and fear against everyone who is not a straight white man, frankly, I recognize a pattern that and those who deny women their rights to their own body, those are usually the same ones who deny all of us the access to a safe climate, a safe planet, and a safe environment. Those who deny our basic human rights are usually the same ones who deny the climate science, the very science that is the foundation of our existence. And that is no coincidence, because both of these notions, they emerge from the same root. It's an ideology of domination, an ideology that believes that bodies must be controlled, that land must be controlled, that nature and climate must be controlled, that everything that could possibly lead to independence must be controlled. It's an ideology where land must be exploited, and so must our bodies be exploited to serve and reproduce no matter what we want, no matter where we are in this. And so, and at this very point, it's where our bodies as women are the same as the body of this planet. It is there to be exploited, to be controlled, to be extracted from. And it is that very same culture that hates, that fears our autonomy, that fears our rising, our solidarity, our friendship, our existence together, our thinking for ourselves, our listening to the science in times of denying and disinformation. And so it is obvious that once we raise our voices for climate justice and for feminist rights, it's when we are faced with attacks, it's when we are faced with misogyny, it's when we are faced with hatred, because we do what fascists, what exploitations, what those who fear independent women, we do what they hate. We stand together, we stand up for our safe planet, we stand up for our safe bodies, for our safe existence, for safety in communities, and for a safe future that we all deserve and have a right to. These attacks mean to divide us, and so it's more important than ever to stand in solidarity, to stand hand in hand, to hug each other instead of hating each other. We will not be reduced to our bodies, and we will not be reduced to some apparent division. We know that every insult and every threat and every attack is another reason to keep going and to not for 1 second believe that this will not lead to big wins and big changes. Because, of course, as long as women are attacked for their bodies, and as long as anyone out there in the world has no right to a safe future, we will keep going. We will not accept the status quo, and we will stand together. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the first trio, and now we will invite next two speakers to the podium. I don't want to give with this press conference the impression that it is just about the individuals. Actually, this campaign was built on organizing communities, on organizing people, on organizing door-to-door, inviting people to join us in our in-person signature collections on our WhatsApp groups. And I would like to present you two cases from two unicorn countries. The first one is Finland, and I will just invite you, Tulik, to come up, and the second one is France, so I will also invite Mathilde to join me on these chairs. And firstly, we will speak about Finland. When we started to work with Unioni, the organization said to us, like, we won't collect a lot of signatures because we have abortion rights sorted out in Finland. And then they became the best country in the campaign with this huge mobilization and organization of people. So I'm inviting you here, join me, and we will just listen about this magical country which gave us hope right at the beginning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today. It's a very happy occasion for us. handing over 1 million signatures is such a great achievement, and I'm so proud to represent especially Finnish Women's Association Unioni here today, because protecting the abortion rights in Finland has been such a vital part of our work. Today is actually really symbolic for the Finnish people, because on the 1st of September 2023, the Finnish renewed abortion law came into power, so it's exactly 2 years today. And we worked very hard for that at Unioni. Finland actually 2 years ago still used to have one of the strictest abortion laws in Europe. The law was over 50 years old, which surprises many people because Finland has a reputation for being a very liberal country. So we needed to renew this law. It still caused unnecessary delays in accessing abortion care, and it really placed a burden on healthcare services. The law required the opinion of 2 doctors to get abortion. So this is unnecessary. Now, so under the new law, which has been in power 2 years, those who are pregnant in Finland can obtain an abortion based on their own request, up to 12 weeks of gestation. And we think in Finland that this is how it should be everywhere. Legislation should never cause unnecessary delays to care or place any barriers to healthcare. And medical care should not be restricted by political ideology. Denying access to safe abortion puts pregnant people's lives and health at risk everywhere. But today we see that together we are so powerful and we can really change the world. The campaign in Finland was possible because we had a wide coalition of partners, and this campaign in Europe has succeeded also because of a wide network who worked together and made it a reality. I'm so proud that My Voice, My Choice initiative gained such a strong support from the Finnish civil society and across the political sphere. Finns were actually, in proportion to the population size, one of the most active supporters, so I'm very proud of that. And also most Finnish MEPs support the initiative. So today I really thank you from the bottom of my heart, every supporter and every partner along the way for showing this European solidarity. And I celebrate this important milestone with everyone in the room today, but I'm also here with very mixed feelings. Because I really don't want to be an abortion rights activist. I don't think none of us should have to be here. We should not have to fight for access to healthcare. This is a basic human right that should already be a reality. So, but as long as it's not, we will keep going, I will keep going, Unioni will keep going. And today I want to remember that what we're doing today, and what we have done for over a year, this is for Savita, Isa, Dorota, Agnieszka, Agata, all those women who have lost their lives because they could not access the healthcare that they needed. We remember you, and we will fight so this does not happen to anyone else in Europe. Over 1 million Europeans have spoken. Now I really hope that the politicians will listen. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Mathilde Viau, and I'm a jurist, feminist, and lesbian activist. I coordinated this campaign for France, and I can tell you it is an incredible joy for me to be here. We built this campaign all together with Alice Coffin, an amazing activist I had the chance to be working with, and we made more than 30 trips throughout France, holding public meetings that brought together hundreds of people. And the result of this involvement is the involvement of all the people we met, and it's incredible. In France, the recent constitutionalization of abortion was a tremendous victory. But everything is not settled at all. There already are cities governed by the far right, and people are afraid already. Afraid to welcome us and to have their subsidies cut. Afraid that the cities will close down their venues. And yet, in these cities, as in others we've been, we have met extraordinary activists, absolutely courageous activists. Everywhere, we had the support of associations such as the major feminist organization NUTUT and the National Planned Parenthood, as well as the backing of the most powerful trade unions and progressive political parties, which joined force in this campaign. We also held numerous webinars attended by many people to address topics that are still rarely discussed, such as racism and ableism, with associations such as Les Dévalideuses on the field of women's health. This campaign is also an incredible signal because this is the first time a campaign of this magnitude across Europe has been founded on the issue of women's rights. This tells us one fundamental thing. Now everyone knows that women's rights are a major issue in the political landscape of the world. We are here because we want to reaffirm our desire to make Europe a continent where civil liberties prevail. The freedom of individuals to control their own body is obviously the first essential step. This campaign has brought together a considerable political force in Europe. I'm not surprised that it comes from feminists. Let's keep going, it's working.
Okay, and we don't want to, that's weird. Okay, we don't want to give the wrong impression that it was only women who are doing this campaign. The reality is that we went on the street and that when we start to work, a lot of men joined it. And a lot of them were standing on streets with us, collecting the signatures and being there. They said that they are fighting this because they want a different kind of society, that they are fighting this with us and for all of us. And we wanted to honor them with reading 3 testimonies, so 3 of our volunteers from the field. And I will ask My Voice, My Choice team to come join me to read the testimonies.
I'll give my best for a world where no woman will ever be judged, humiliated, or killed for choosing what's best for her own body. Andrea.
I want the lovely women around me to always have a choice, autonomy, and freedom. Andrei from Romania.
They provide researched information, they gather voices from across Europe and unite us at a time when it's more than necessary.
So basically, all these people made it possible that today we have 1 million signatures. And we wanted to show you very concrete examples for what we are fighting. We were already speaking about Poland and how women are being killed in the hospitals because of restrictive access to abortion. Now I will invite 3 speakers, 2 from Italy and 1 from Malta, to join me on the stage. And firstly, I will give out the word to Belle. Belle is one of the bravest women that I met in this campaign. Belle was campaigning for us in Malta, where abortion is illegal. She was walking around universities. She was doing many different stuff. And what she was doing was actually dangerous, and she showed enormous bravery. Belle, I'm giving the word to you to speak a little bit about Malta and about the campaign there.
Hi, I'm Belle de Jong. I'm a journalist in Malta, and I organized and coordinated the campaign on a Maltese level. In Malta, abortion is illegal. It remains the only EU country with a total abortion ban, and women risk up to 3 years in prison for having an abortion. Just 1 month ago, a woman in Malta received a 22-month suspended prison sentence after her doctor reported that she had taken abortion pills. She sought medical care while she was in pain, but instead of support, she was betrayed, reported, and sentenced. Women in Malta are forced to keep their abortions a secret, unable to tell even their mothers or their closest friends, because seeking healthcare is a crime. The stigma remains ever present. I know this personally. I've written extensively about abortion in Malta, including my own. When I spoke about my abortion on national television, the interviewer was hostile and the backlash was immense. I was told I should not have spread my legs and that I was a baby murderer. Let me ask you, how can we debate abortion rights when those who need and have abortions cannot even speak? How can we claim to protect women's rights when decisions over our bodies are made by people who don't have uterus or who can afford to travel abroad? I have since become a safe space for people who have had or needed abortions. Girls and women, some as young as 14 years old, still reach out to me and fellow activists, even though most of us are not medical professionals. It warms my heart, but it also breaks it, because healthcare should never rely on activists or NGOs, let alone in an EU country. It should never be illegal to seek healthcare. Thankfully, slowly but surely, the conversation is changing. More people now understand that this fight is not about being pro-abortion, it's about being pro-choice, letting women decide over their own lives with dignity, safety, and freedom. The My Voice, My Choice campaign was fundamental in that conversation. With more than 4,000 signatures, we reached Malta's national threshold against all odds. That's over 4,000 people taking a stand to support the bodily autonomy of women who currently do not have it. Throughout the campaign, more people came to understand that we're fighting for the right to decide and that those most affected must be included in the conversation, not silenced by law. Today, we bring more than 1 million signatures from citizens across Europe to make that happen. Over 1 million voices saying access to safe abortion is a fundamental right. It cannot depend on money, geography, or nationality. 1 million of us are saying loud and clear, our bodies, our voice, our choice.
Next country where access to abortion is very, very limited is Italy. But Italy is not just the country which has a very bad situation with abortion. It's also a country which, after first 500,000 signatures, gave us back hope to this campaign. Alice there and Federica and Matteo and Associazione Luca Coscioni came to us and they changed how we worked. They said, you need to create a movement. You need to go on the street and need to be present there. They organized like hundreds of in-person signature collection. They organized the whole Italian opposition, which I found out it's very hard to do, to support My Voice, My Choice. And they did it together with a big passion and a big dedication. I'm so happy to give the word to Alice and Fede to explain a little bit more about the situation in Italy and a little bit more about the miracle which they created.
Thank you, Nika. In 1978, Italy passed a law giving women the right to a free and legal abortion. So in paper, this looks like progress. But today, almost 50 years later, abortion in Italy is not a right, it's a privilege. In my region, Molise, there is only one doctor that performs abortions. In Lombardia, the region of Milan, I think you all know where Milan and how Milan look like, the state give anti-choice groups money so they can sit in clinics and they can offer the same money to women so they can decide not to have an abortion. In Sicily, sometimes reaching the few hospital that performs an abortion is so hard and so complicated and so costly that women simply give up. Now, picture the journey. You want to make one choice about your body. You sit in a clinic, someone comes and offers you money so that you can choose not to go on. Yet, you choose to go on. You're forced to wait by law 7 endless days so you can think about it. You choose to go on. You face nurses, you face doctors, all of them telling you, are you really sure you want to do it? And still, you choose to go on. And finally, with judgment in their eyes, they perform what it should be simply a medical procedure. They send you home alone, in pain, and full of judgment. You made it, despite the judgment, despite the money, despite the pain. What was meant to be a right, it turns into fighting a system. This is why My Voice, My Choice was so fundamental in Italy. Because no woman should ever face obstacles, shame, or violence just to exercise a fundamental right. Because we fought for this right decades ago, 50 years ago, and now we should be really able to claim it. But most importantly, because if this is my voice, this is our choice. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nika. Thank you, Fede. I'm truly honored to be here today, to be part of this incredible journey together with the people of My Voice, My Choice, and to represent Italy today with Federica Vinci and Matteo Cadeddu from the Italian committee. I'm Alice Spaccini, and I coordinated the physical mobilization in Italy on behalf of Associazione Luca Coscioni and Humans. And the collector signature on the ground was absolutely crucial for Italy and for all Europe. In Italy, after the first month of online collection, we were still below the threshold. And it was in September when we brought the campaign into the streets, into the city, speaking directly with the people, that My Voice, My Choice really took off. Being in the square and engaging local communities, NGOs, and parties gave new life to the initiative and made it visible everywhere. This meant more than 350 events across Italy, from north to south, with volunteers collecting signatures everywhere, in the university, public demonstrations, street, square, everywhere, literally everywhere. Over 600 people joined this campaign in Italy, and thanks to the brilliant work, not only Italy reached the quorum, but collect more than 166,000 signatures, making our country by one of the main contributors to European milestone. My Voice, My Choice has shown the strength of the people coming together. When citizens act, they can achieve real change, not only in Italy, not only in Europe, but in the whole world. And now, as the initiative moves into its second and crucial phase, Associazione Coscioni and Humans will stand alongside to My Voice, My Choice, to make sure that the voice of more than 1,200,000 people will be listened, and the politics will finally listen the will of the citizen. Today, together, we wrote a page in the history of women's rights that will remain forever. So thank you, Nika. Thank you, My Voice, My Choice. Thank you to all of you. I'm very proud to be here today.
Okay, and I'm inviting last two people to the stage, Sarah and Lana. And I'm inviting Sarah here because we got this idea in one firstly depressing but then fun night in New York, which ended up us talking what to do that Europe does not become US. And we all know that it's more important than ever that we do not become US. And Sarah then decided to do something different than I did. I decided to coordinate My Voice, My Choice, and Sarah decided to start a petition to put the abortion in the French Constitution. She and her fellow friends actually changed the history already, and I'm super happy that she is today here to give us a little bit of hope.
Thank you, Nika. Thank you, everyone. I just want to say I'm very emotional, so I'm going to read my text, and I might cry, but everything's okay. What we do today is we show that change is possible. Change is possible. We must remind that to ourselves, because every day, everything tells us that nothing will change. Well, let me tell you, change is possible. When we first had the idea of doing this campaign, everyone told us, you cannot protect the right of abortion in the EU. It's not possible legally, it's not possible, people will not support. Yet we started this campaign. Then people told us, there's no way you're going to have 1 million signatures for this. Even in France, as Mathilde was saying, like, you know, we already have it in the constitution. Why would people care? Well, we got this 1 million, not only 1 million, but 1 million verified signature, which means that every single of this signature is officially recognized by the European Union. So we are here with this signature, and we know already what will happen. Many people will tell us, well, it will never pass, you know, MPs will not support you, or the Commission will not put it on the agenda. Well, let me tell you something, that all of us and the 1 million people who made this campaign what it is are not going to stay silent, because they know that everything seems impossible until it's done. So we will do it. And why am I so sure about that is because when we started the campaign for the constitution in France, this is what we heard all around. You will never make it. Well, we did it. We saw that Roe versus Wade was happening in the US, and just like Nika was saying, we're like, okay, we need to do something about it. We created this big coalition. We created a group of people who went across the country to convince people, and we also convinced a lot of MPs from different political parties. And we actually made it. You know, changing the constitution is very difficult, and for good reasons. But we did it. Why? Because we stand for something that no one can deny, is that everyone should be able to decide for their future, for the future of their kids, and for the future of their loved ones. So that's how we won, and that's how we will win this campaign. I just want to say one thing. With every attack on our rights, every single attack of our rights, comes an opportunity to say that we share so many values, an opportunity to say we can go around and we can be together, but also an opportunity to show the power we hold. We as citizens hold power, and we'll use that power to convince MPs. So today, why we are here, tell our stories, but also say to every MPs and every commission members, we're waiting for you. This is urgent. This is now, we need your support, and we need to make this change not only possible, but a reality. Thank you.
So what are the next steps and what will happen in the future? We will be louder, we will be more pain in the ass than now, we will do more actions, and we will do more stuff. Because as everyone said, one of us cannot do a lot, but if we come together, we can move mountains. In 1 month, we will have a first meeting with the commissioner. Then we will need to push a resolution through the European Parliament and convince half of the members of European Parliament that our proposal is good and valid. We know that it will be hard, but we also know that in the majority of countries, more than 70% of people is supporting safe abortion. This is a common value, and this is a value which is uniting people, different religions, different ages, genders, professions. Then, in 6 months, the European Commission will need to give us an answer. And Lana, who is one of the members of My Voice, My Choice team, who was here from the beginning, she was actually with me in the office when we started to work on this, will read a statement from Ursula von der Leyen, because we think that we need to remind her of what she said a couple of years ago.
So here goes the reminder to the institutions. I quote, "The European Commission's task in this field is to provide full support to member states' efforts in implementing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals relevant to women's health, universal access to sexual and reproductive care, family planning, and education." So, a reminder.
So a couple of years ago, Ursula von der Leyen said that this needs to be done, and we found a way how to do it. And now we will find a way how to convince every single person in Brussels and broader that this is needed. This initiative is saving lives. This initiative is bringing hope. And I also believe that this initiative is changing history, because I think we are proving that with kind spirit and a lot of friendship, we can do really badass stuff. Thank you that you were here today. And now I just want to say that usually it's me speaking, but basically I couldn't, and now I will cry. I couldn't do anything without my Slovenian team, and I am happy and proud that the majority of the Institute 8 of March team today is here. And they were working holidays, weekends, nights, days for this campaign. Most of them did this voluntarily or did this as a part-time job, and I couldn't be prouder to be with them. So I will just invite all the speakers to do a photo. I will invite my team to come for a photo, Kika to come for the photo, and let's do the final photo. And then we are here to answer questions.